Big event going down in sunny Miami Saturday night. It is now time for our official UFC 287 betting preview. The middleweight title is on the line. It is a rematch. I'm going to get us started here, Ian. So, in that middleweight rematch, I took Alex Pereira in the first fight versus Israel Adesanya. And guess what? I'm going to take Alex Pereira once again. Why wouldn't I? Especially sitting here at odds of plus 115. So let's get right into this one. I think that the wrong man is favored in this fight, including kickboxing. Pereira is now 3-0 versus Adesanya. Quite simply, he has his number with a KO win against him in both the UFC and in kickboxing. Breaking down their fight in the UFC from this past November, yeah, it was pretty close. Pereira won by knockout, of course, but Pereira actually landed more significant strikes and landed them at a higher percentage. Now, a lot of the dialogue leading up to the rematch has people predicting that Adesanya, who landed 1 of 4 takedown attempts in their most recent fight, will lean on wrestling in this one, which he might try to do, but let's not pretend he's going to turn into George St. Pierre overnight. That one takedown is the only takedown he's ever landed in 14 fights in the UFC. Not that he attempts a lot of them by any means. But come on here, guys. Pereira can train wrestling too. He's got a respectable 73% takedown defense in his 4 UFC fights, stuffing 14 of 19 total attempts made against him. Give me Pereira plus 115. All right, and you got a bet that you like for the main event here. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I like Pereira as well, but I'm going to go a different direction here for the show. I'm going to take the under 4.5 rounds in this fight. I was actually pretty shocked the over-under was set at 4.5 rounds, so I'll gladly take the under there at minus 125. There were plenty of strikes thrown in the first fight between these two guys. It's not like it was kind of a slowly developing fight. There was 177 total significant strikes landed. You only need one of them to finish this fight with the amount of power both these guys have, especially Pereira. And don't forget, Adesanya actually almost won this fight in the first round. I believe it was right at the end of the first round. He rocked Pereira. If he did it just even 20 seconds earlier, he might have been able to jump on him and finish the fight. And also, don't forget about Pereira's history. This guy's a finished machine. 7 of his 8 professional MMA fights have been finished inside of the distance. I'm shocked that the total is at 4.5. I will take the under here at minus 125.
I think maybe some recency bias cooked into that one. Okay, let's drop down one fight to the co-main event. A lot of people are excited about this one. Very lopsided odds. I'm going to take the favorite, but you got to get a better number than what he's being offered at. I'm going to take Gilbert Burns to win by decision plus 165. Where are they getting this number from? This seems massively mispriced to me. He's minus 475 to win this 3-round fight. But yet here he is well in the plus money at plus 165 to win by decision. Seems like a mistake to me. I do think he rolls versus Masvidal, who has gotten destroyed versus elite competition, completely dominated in every aspect by both Usman and Colby Covington. Caught lightning in a bottle once upon a time in what was a perfect storm of events versus Darren Till, Ben Askren, and Nate Diaz. But he's completely fallen off of a cliff since. That said, he's still very hard to put away. He's been finished in just 2 of 51 career pro fights, just once in the UFC. Beautiful number, Gilbert Burns by decision, plus 165. Ian, what are you looking at next?
Next up is another bet on a total, another under bet as well, actually. I'm going to take Rob Font, Adrian Yanez, under 2.5 rounds in this 3-round fight at minus 105 here. Both these fighters land at a pretty high clip. Rob Font comes in at 6.38 significant strikes landed per minute. Yanez comes in at 6.62 significant strikes per minute. And Yanez has had 5 fights inside the UFC. 4 of those have gone under 2.5 rounds. And don't forget, Rob Font can finish a fight as well. It's been a little while since he's finished a fight. It's been a lot of decisions for him lately, but still overall in his professional MMA career, 63% of his wins have come inside the distance. People forget, and I encourage you to not forget about early Rob Font. Give me the under 2.5 rounds at minus 105. I think this one might sneakily be a barn burner of a fight.
Barn burner, baby. All right, dogs don't stop. It's all plus money for me with my best bets for this event. And speaking of being wildly mispriced, how about Santiago Ponzinibbio plus 205? Are you kidding me? Absolutely hammering that. The pride of Argentina, Ponzinibbio here against Kevin Holland, who's wildly overvalued for a second consecutive fight. This fight is much, much closer than these odds indicate. What has Kevin Holland accomplished to deserve being such a big favorite here? He's 2-4 in his last 6 fights, and he's been finished in 2 consecutive fights and has some serious flaws in his game, most notably wrestling defense. Ponzinibbio, yeah, he's just 2-2 in his last 4, but he could easily be 4-0 with a couple of close split decision losses that make him look worse than he actually is. I think this fight is much closer to a coin flip, so I'll take the guy who has more momentum being offered at plus 205. Beautiful number. All right, Ian, bring it home. Your final pick for UFC 287.
Final pick. I'm looking at the prelims. I'm looking at a women's fight here, and I'm going to fade Michelle Waterson Gomez. I guess she's been married since last time that she fought. Adding Gomez there at the end of her name. Going to fade her because she's one of the most frustrating fighters in the UFC to watch. And I have bet on her in the past, and I have lost money on her in the past. So let's go the other direction. I'll take Luana Pinheiro in this fight. Minus 165. Make it a 2-unit play if you want. I think I will do exactly that because Michelle Waterson Gomez, the queen of kicking air. I don't know if you guys have watched this girl fight before. They call her the karate hottie. But she just loves to throw strikes just like that is not within a foot of landing to her opponent. I don't get it. She likes to throw these little front kick things that aren't even close to landing. It's extremely frustrating to watch, and that's why she doesn't win fights. She's 1-4 in her last 5, and now she takes on a Pinheiro, who she's going to out-wrestle her. She lands over 4 takedowns per 15 minutes, 4.76. Waterson only has a 67% takedown defense. She's lost to wrestlers in the past, including Carla Esparza. This is an absolute mismatch. I still think there's a ton of value at a minus 165 price point. I would set this more like minus 200, minus 220. So I will take Luana Pinheiro to beat the queen of kicking air, the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson Gomez.